The Big Pavelski provides a spark for a comeback, but it comes up a little short. Let's talk about this series being tied at 1-1 right now on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Monday night, September 21st, 2020. You're not watching a football game that's being played in Nevada. No. You are watching Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final as the Dallas Stars were up 1-0 in the series, trying to go for a 2-0 series lead against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But the Lightning had some other ideas. They are now 5-0 after losing a game in the Stanley Cup playoffs and showed up big time tonight to get this series tied. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. We do this after every single night in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So if you want to be part of the show, join us and fellow hockey fans in the YouTube chat, on the page, or the app. Follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Stitcher, you name it. And of course, our favorite, Discord. For more Sharks content, visit us at tealtownusa.com. Hi, everyone. I am Eric Curra. You can always follow me at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Hope you're having a good night tonight. It is a lovely evening out here in the West Coast. A little smoky, though, so that's all right. We'll do what we can. And, Felix, you're right. It's gotten a little feisty in this series, which to quote Hockey Jerk, because it's right. You love to see it, as they say. But getting to this game, I mean, Dallas, kind of jumpstart with the rest that they had in Game 1. Tampa looked a little tired, per se. So let's figure this out now. So 11:23 in on the power play. And again, Jerk, this is for you, Braden. Point! With the power play goal, his 10th of the playoffs from Kucherov and Hedman. Those three right there. You could throw in Yanni Gourde as well. I think, along with Andre Palat, have been spark plugs for the Tampa Bay Lightning in this postseason. They get things going to make it 1-0 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then you can say there's a severe thunderstorm watch in Edmonton at Rogers Place, because then Lightning would strike again. Andre Palat with a quick little snapper to get past Anton Khudobin to make it 2-0 at 14:22. That was also on the power play. Again, Dallas having some discipline issues there. And then not even a minute after that, Kevin Shattenkirk with the wrist shot from the point. And it went through like everything, it seemed like, to beat Khudobin again to make it 3-0. I was wondering if they were going to put Ottinger in the second period, but Dallas stayed the course. They would get going themselves. They would get a chance on the power play as well. And sure enough, Joe Pavelski, yes, the Joe Pavelski. Joe freaking Pavelski. If there was a tip-in that Pavs had had in his time in San Jose, I would say was Game 5 of the 2016 Western Conference Final, the one that gave the Sharks the eventual lead in that fifth game. I thought that one was a pretty good goal. This one was even better. I don't know how Pavs just was reaching out just to get a piece of it. His hand-eye coordination is something else, folks. And I know AJ and the crew can go on about everything on the Pucknologist last night, and if you haven't checked that already, check that out once this show is over. But Pavelski with an unreal tip, even for Pavelski himself, to get the job done in this one. Pavelski gets it in there, tips it in on the power play at 14:43. All of a sudden, you have a hockey game again. It is 3-1. You're thinking, all right, 3-1. He's been the spark plug for many comebacks, whether if it's been in Dallas or in San Jose. And sure enough, things would get going. 5:27, and Matthias Janmark, his first of the playoffs, and it was a great play. He was using his strength, using his stick there. Klingberg found him wide open. Definitely harassed by Shattenkirk, though, and beats Vasilevsky. And like I said on Twitter, on our Teal Town USA Twitter page, all we need is Sandstorm, because we have a hockey game, folks. And going on throughout the third period, Tampa Bay kind of locked them down, but I thought Dallas was definitely getting some chances, and despite getting outshot 12-5 in the third period, I thought Dallas really carried the game this way. Tampa would have more puck possession, which is, of course, you're going to see tonight, but you kind of saw it going back and forth. Tampa dominated the first, obviously, with three goals in the first period, 14-6. Then Dallas was coming back to try to put the onslaught right back into the throats of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They were outshoot 18-5, and then 12-5 in the third. But like I said, I thought Dallas played a lot better of a game in the third period, despite only getting 5 shots on goal. Overall, 31-29 in favor of Tampa Bay in this one. Definitely got some feistiness. We even saw, a few scrums. Easy for me to say, right? And I'm doing this on YouTube. But, you saw Corey Perry getting in there. You saw Paquette getting in there. You even saw Joe Pavelski against Barclay Goodrow in one of these scrums, kind of feeding off of each other. Heck, we even saw, Barclay Goodrow inadvertently high stick Joe Pavelski. There was no call on the play, but man, oh man, those two former Sharks definitely came to play tonight, and even Barclay Goodrow had a chance at an open net, and I think he thought he played with the Sharks still because he missed the open net. It just seems like that happens all the time with the Sharks. So, Eli BSF, hopefully I'm saying that right. Those Goodrow versus Pavelski faceoffs at the end, yeah, that one's a tough one. New angle tonight. I'm at Amanda's. Different spot tonight. Sleepy Mofo saying definitely some dirty hits from each team. Yeah, I was getting feisty out there, and we're only in game 2, folks. This thing could get a little crazy for sure. Felix saying, I've always admired Pavelski's skill and work ethic. The guy will not quit, and definitely got the guys going for Dallas, trying to get things even up on there. And Burge, I think you're being a little sarcastic here. He says, I'm curious to see how Dallas will respond on home ice. And by home ice, you mean you get to wear your home jerseys and have last change. Little crazy on that one. But that's what they would end up being. It would be a 3-2 victory for the Tampa Bay Lightning over the Dallas Stars. We will talk about what the former Sharks did. Barclay Goodrow tonight had the open net chance, but he had 3 shots in this game, 4 hits, and definitely looked pretty solid on time on ice. He was out there for 16:04 again, and just something else with the amount of time that he was playing tonight, because you see Verhaeghe at 7:24, Maroon at 8:33. Obviously, John Cooper has oodles of confidence in Barclay Goodrow, and maybe that's why they spent a first-round pick on getting him to Tampa Bay to be that missing piece. Yes, Barclay Goodrow, the missing piece to a Stanley Cup championship for Tampa Bay. You wouldn't have said that maybe a couple of years ago when he was playing with the Barracuda, and unbelievably, he has progressed so much in his career in just a little bit amount of time. As for Pavelski, he had that one goal tonight, and we do have some info on that. It definitely, uh, adds to the legacy of the big Pavelski. He ties Mike Modano for second most playoff goals by an American player at 58, only 2 away from Joey Mullen with 60. And one of the rare times that you would tie Wayne Gretzky and you not having the record. He ties Wayne Gretzky. Blah, blah, blah. Easy for me to say. Ties Wayne Gretzky for his second most goals in a single postseason by a player over 36 years old all time, with 10. Maurice Richard and Brett Hull tied at 11 for that. So, an interesting night for Pavs. Obviously, I think it's safe to say he might break that record between Richard and Hull. We'll see what happens there. He has a shot to tie Joey Mullen this year in the playoff ones. In the playoff all time by Americans. That should be an interesting one to see what we do there. So, I just think Pavs is something special, some other notes in this one that I wrote down. Braden Point, got the opening goal for Tampa Bay. Tampa's now 6-1 when scoring first in a Stanley Cup final game. He moves. He also moved into a tie with Bo Horvat of the Vancouver Canucks for most among all players with 10, which is kind of surprising that it's only 10. So Pavs is right near there as well, with his 10th as well. So he's tied up there with it. Nikita Kucherov with the assist on the point goal. 27 points in 21 playoff games. It establishes a franchise record for most points in a single postseason. You definitely see that there. I mean, it's just something else. Victor Hedman didn't have a goal tonight, but he's getting up there with frickin' Brian Leach, I believe, is who holds the record for most goals by a defenseman in a single playoff year. Pavs trails only Doug Gilmour for most career postseason goals among players drafted in the 7th round or later. I mean, we already knew Pavs was unreal, but you're talking Mike Modano, Joey Mullen, Gretzky, Richard, frickin' Doug Gilmour, Brett Hull, Maurice Richard. I mean, now you're starting to see the legacy that Pavs is bringing now. So we shall see how this goes down the road. I just find it very interesting on how Pavs is going to play this round, and we know he won't quit. He will not quit. So, with Tampa winning tonight, it avoids a 2-0 series lead, because if you go up 2-0 in the best of 7, you're usually winning 86% of the time. So, and when you're in the final, 90% of the time. So, you love to see it. You got this series tied 1-1. Let's get to the bracket here. So game 2 goes to Tampa at 3-2. Series is tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3 will be on Wednesday at 5 p.m. That'll still be on NBCSN. And then the series will shift back to your local NBC station for the rest of the way. And with the series tied at 1-1, now requires a 5th game. So for the first time in a very, very long time, you will have back-to-back games on back-to-back nights in the Stanley Cup final. So you'll have Wednesday at 5 for Game 3, Friday Game 4 at 5 p.m., and then the next night, Game 5, Saturday at 5 p.m. So we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks, and by this time next week, we could have a Stanley Cup champion. And at this point, the series is tied up at 1-1. Has Tampa gotten past maybe their tired legs? Has Dallas need to figure out with their late push, figure out what they need to do to get past Vasilevsky one more time? Remains to be seen. But you got to appreciate what these guys have gone through for the last 9 weeks without their families and with something, just amazing to see how these guys are doing it. And there is uncertainty in as to when these playoffs or the next season will begin. I mean, we heard from Gary Bettman the other night prior to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final that the December 1st date most likely will be pushed back. Why? Well, I think the league was hoping to get some fans back in the stands, and I think the owners really need some of that revenue from gate revenue. Unfortunately, the NHL is still a gate-driven league. Can't bank on just the TV deal like the NFL can, or maybe even the NBA for that matter. They need the ticket revenue. So we'll see what happens there. And there have been all sorts of speculation that some teams are going to be working in an internal cap or they need to slice payroll. That's what's going to make, once this cup is presented, it's going to make it so much more crazier. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Eric Wright. I'm at PuckGuy14. Welcome to Teal 10 After Dark. If you're new here, join us in the super chat down on the page or on the app. And of course, follow us on the social here at Teal Town USA. And so Jerry F. saying, are the back-to-backs at home? Yes, they are home at home. And yes, I do know what home at home is. A long-time pucknologist joke, folks. If you haven't heard that one, at hockey_jerk on that one. Rob Iman, will we see backup goalies in this year's Stanley Cup Final? I can't see Ottinger playing in the game. I just can't see him playing unless Kudobin's hurt. Obviously, Ben Bishop is unfit to play, and if you're unfit to play in the Stanley Cup Final, then there's something seriously going on, and you hope for the best. And Jerry F. mentioning, I'll have to change my meme to, is it January yet? Will they start with the Winter Classic? I mean, what a great way to start a season. But if the league is strictly interested in making sure they play an 82-game season, I don't know if you can even consider January. And if you go later in the January, as the league says they do not want to go play in the summertime again, I don't know. I know the bubble has been tough on them, and credit to the league, still no positive cases of COVID in the bubble. Good on them. They've done a fantastic job. But that's got to be taxing on a lot of people, and especially if you're going to put up multiple bubbles. And if you were to stretch this bubble format for next year, I don't know what you can do. It'd be really tough for these players, and I'm not sure if a lot of players would be down for it if you go for the bubble. That being said, we're going to reach for a award-winning edition of the Wraparound.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
its wraparound. The NHL announced the remaining major award winners tonight in the NHL awards for the regular season. You know, the thing that happened back in March. And as surprising as some of these are, a little surprising. You know, Calder to Cale Makar, not really. I thought it would be a little closer. It was for Cale Makar versus Quinn Hughes. But unfortunately, not quite the case there. The Hart Trophy for the league MVP and the Lindsay Trophy, the Ted Lindsay Trophy for the MVP voted on by the players. They both went to Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, who had just a great year. A great year. The Vezina for best goaltender, or as local stations in the Bay Area would call it, the Vezina, went to Connor Hella Buck, who didn't hella suck. He had a heck of a year. Wait, I'm sorry. He had a hell of a year for the Winnipeg Jets in the peg. Hopefully he'll receive this eventually. You know, that Wi-Fi connection. I don't know. The Norris, I was kind of surprised. I thought John Carlson from the Washington Capitals was going to get it. It goes to another great defenseman, Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators, who also had a great year there. So those are your award winners and for sure. And Hernandez, obviously a Barracuda fan. I want to hear the ooh Barracuda soundbite. You know what? I'm a man of the people. This one's for you, N. Hernandez.
Ooh, Barracuda.
And I honestly wish I had some Barracuda news. You know, let's be real here. We are slowly starting to see the NHL, or excuse me, the AHL arena being built for the Barracuda. If you've ever been to Solar for America Ice recently, check that out for sure. Indeed. So let's see what else we got in the chat here. Only 4 thumbs up. We got 15 people watching. Come on, let's get those thumbs up going. And heck, while you're over there, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. We've done a lot of interviews during the pause. AJ and I have done a lot. We did Rob Zettler. He just did one with Dan Boyle. Of course, John Scott. You know, a couple of them that, you know, I'm jealous he got to do, but, you know, it is what it is. Sonia Tydinko from NBC Sports California. There we go. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate it immensely as always. Appreciate you. And we do this just for you. So definitely, one thumb down. Is Jessica in here? What's going on here? Come on. Come on. Anywho. So, there we go. That's better. We'll make it work. But yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff here at Teal Town USA. Yeah, it's been tough not talking Sharks hockey, but trust us, I think in the next couple of weeks we'll be talking a bunch of Sharks hockey. We could finally hear about Bob Bugner getting the name, interim head coach, getting that interim tag removed. We'll hear about his new assistant, Jonathan Becker. If you're watching, we keep talking about these uniforms. Let's make this happen. Reach into my DMs on Twitter at Puckeye14, and let's make it happen. All right. I'd love to see it. And hey, if you have an extra jersey this time, don't give it to AJ. Just give it to me. We'll be okay. Right? We'll be good. So that's sort of like it. Yeah. 10 likes. Oh, now down the lane. Oh, well. So a couple more couple of things. Tampa Bay's win guaranteed. There will not be a best-of-7 sweep in 2020. This marks the 4th time since 1987, when the best-of-7 format went for all 4 rounds, that there will not be a sweep in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So the last time that happened was in 2016, when the Sharks went to the Stanley Cup final. Also happened in 2002 and 1991. So that's an interesting one. We didn't see a sweep in the playoffs. And for Tampa, they played 15 games in the Stanley Cup final. 10 of them have been decided by one goal. They are 6-4 in that, and they picked up their 11th win in a one-goal game in the 2020 playoffs. Only 3 other teams have collected more in a single postseason. Montreal had 12 in 1993, and I think I remember they had a boatload of overtime games for Montreal that year too. And Anaheim did it twice with 12. In both years, they went to the Cup final in 2007 and 2003. So that just about does it for us. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night following Lightning and Stars Game 3 of the Stanley Cup final. Will Joe Pavelski tie, or heck, will he break Joe Mullen's record for most playoff goals by an American player? We'll see. He'd also break that 36-plus old record as well. So, with that, in case you missed anything and you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and always available at tealtownusa.com. There I am. So, again, we will be back with you Wednesday following the Stanley Cup Final. If you missed it last night, the Pucknologist came on, did a nice tight 51. It was a great broadcast. Of course, I love hockey content, Shark Space hockey content. We bring it to you all the time here on Teal Town USA. Definitely check out the Pucknologist right now afterwards. So, hit that subscribe button down below. Follow us on the social media. Check out our previous content. It's right over here. There it is. Follow that there. Check out all the other content right over here on our YouTube channel. And until Wednesday night, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a good night.